Let's go ahead and see. Alrighty. Yep, there we go. We're all set up. Hello, hello. Let's go ahead and get everyone in Discord. Let them know we started. Today, Root still isn't feeling good, so we might be going again without a mod today, but everyone's gonna be good raccoons, right? Starting now. Alrighty. Hello, hello, Dreamy Alora. It's good to see you. I was just saying, Root still doesn't feel too good, so it's still gonna be me solo trying to manage everything. But you guys are all wonderful raccoons, so I'm sure it'll be fine. Let's go ahead. How's the audio and everything? Is it sounding okay? You're gonna do some studying today? Spanish homework. Oh my goodness. I didn't take Spanish. I took French class when I was a younger raccoon. And Latin for 2 years when I was a really young cryptid. The audio is perfect? Oh, oh good. Hello, Zaya. It's good to see you. Oh my goodness. A 7-stream streak for Dreamy Allure. Thank you so much for hanging around for so long. French is terrible. You hated it so much when you took it for a year. I don't know why. I liked French better than Latin, but I still didn't like French. I could look at words, and when I was actively learning it for, geez, how long was that? 4 years? 4 or 5 years it took French. When it's hard to read, let me know. It's hard to know what is fluff when you write. Yeah, I might, just depending on my voice, I'll read, because I see it's the longer chapter that I gave you permission to submit, right? You gave the full first chapter. I'll read as long as my voice can handle it. And then when I'm done, I'll go ahead and I normally limit it to 1 or 2 critiques. I think this is your first time submitting something for story time here, right? So yeah, we normally limit it to 1 or 2 critiques, because I never want my raccoons to feel like, oh god, there's a billion bajillion things that Cryptid doesn't like. No. It's more low-key. It's more casual about that. While I'm reading, I just take notes of stuff, like in my head, and then the critique afterwards, it's just the 2 things that I think would make the greatest difference, the 2 biggest suggestions that I could give. German and, it's okay to throw the can at you. Oh my goodness. German and English class. We'll start the critique in just a minute. I'm just gonna have a minute or 2 of chatting and letting everyone stream in, and then we'll do your story. And then if my voice is feeling up to it, I think we still have part of chapter 2 to read for Author Relic. We'll see how my voice is doing today. I think whatever Roots and Mama Cryptid had, I think I might be getting it. We'll see. Author Relic. We are starting with Zaya. Sorry, their usernames in Discord and here are different, so I keep wanting to say that the Discord name instead. But yeah, I'm starting with Zaya's. I'll read for as long as I can go. If it's the full, I think it's 10 pages. If it's the full 10 pages, it'll be that. But if my voice gives out a bit earlier, we'll stop there. Sorry. You have an ad. Oopsie. I'm trying to explain stuff to you and there's ads. I still have to figure out the ad settings. I know I got it better, but yeah, I still would like for you guys not to have ads besides the preload ads. Hello. German and English class is mandatory. French was mandatory as well for a year. What? German and English and French were all mandatory? And now you can choose between Spanish and French. Since your boyfriend is from Mexico, anyway, time to learn Spanish. Yeah. German, English, and French are mandatory. Where are you, Dreamy Allure? I forget. Oh my goodness. Normally in here in the US it's normally just like English that's like a requirement. And that's kind of like your literature class too. Sometimes in high school there's a different classes, literature and English. Sometimes in like younger grades they aren't. And then you are required to choose for most at least high school. Sometimes middle school too. You're required to then choose an elective extra language class. Do you need more story posts? I can post some stuff. We still have to, I've only read the first chapter of yours. I think we still have your first 3 chapters. in it, if I'm not forgetting Author Relic. So I said I'd read as much as I could as this one. And then if my voice is still okay, then we'll start reading chapter 2 of yours to give feedback on chapter 2, if that's okay with you guys. You can't even speak English and it's your only language. Saya, sometimes me too. Sometimes me too. Don't you worry. Oh, in Germany. Okay, okay. You start with German in 1st grade and English, and then in 6th grade there's French. And now in 11th and 13th grade there's French or Spanish. Oh my god. That's so much. Which I know like so many other countries are so much better about teaching their citizens to be dual language or multi-language. And the US in comparison is like one of the worst places to do that. But even then, it's still, to me, even though I know it's better to learn multiple languages that way, it's still like still really crazy to me. You think 2 chapters of Cinder. Okay, yeah. If you want to, whichever chapter, I think we read 1 chapter, not yesterday, but the day before. We did a full chapter. If you want to post the next chapter after that, then we can continue if that's what you want. You make cookies at 2 a.m., so now it's time to study and struggle. Study and struggle and listen to my voice in the background. But yeah, thank you guys all for showing up. Today is just gonna be a story time stream. Since we didn't have story time yesterday, I thought today would just be a story time stream to make up for it. I think I even updated that in the title for this stream, right? It's reading your stories. Yeah. Okay, I did update it. I wasn't sure if I had or not. But yeah, the first one here is by Zaya 2XKO in chat. I don't know if that's how you want me to pronounce it, but that's my best bet. But yeah, they shared this to us in the Discord. And Author Relic also has some stuff to share in the Discord. And if anyone else, I think I still have to go over stuff that Knits or Root submitted in Discord as well. But there's 6 and they're not listening. They're not listening to chat anyway. That's how you save it, but Davo is a little easier to say. Okay, yeah, I don't have the Discord screen up, otherwise I would have been like, oh, this is them on Discord, but what was I saying? But so we might read Knit's story another day. But if anyone else has another thing they would also like to read, I'll see if my voice is okay to get to it. You don't want no why, but your chihuahua always comes so close to me when he sleeps. Do you want to crawl into my body? A lot of small animals do that, yeah, like smaller cats, smaller dogs. They love doing that. It makes them feel safer, and also like the body heat keeps them warm. But yeah, when they're smaller like that, sometimes they really, really like it. And then like if they're a bigger one, they just want to push you off the bed. But are we all ready for story time? We've been here, it's the first 8 minutes. Are we ready to get started? Story time! But yeah, we're gonna start with chapter 1 from Zaya or Davo, and it's called Mind and Matter. Oh, let me lift up my mic. Hopefully that wasn't any bad noises for you guys. Mind and Matter. The neon buzz of liquor advertisements vibrated in the back of my skull as I morbidly stared at the convenience store wall. Too tired to blink. Too aware to ease up. When the digital clock finally ticked over to 6 a.m., relief filled every crevice of my mind. My blurry eyes drifted away from the numbers and scanned the sterile aisles for dinner. Outside, a pale sunrise crept through the front windows, smearing cold light across the shelves. I clocked out, grabbed a basket, and dumped whatever packaged food I could reach inside. Ramen, onigiri, packaged bread, anything that didn't require much effort to eat. My boss yawned behind the register as he started scanning. You know we sell produce, right? Watabi-san? The man chuckled as he filled the bag with the assorted foods. I'm aware, but with my busy life, I find it hard to find time to cook, I said, leaving out a few details. Thank you. Have a good shift. The automatic doors hushed shut behind me. Winter swallowed me whole. Snow clung to the pavement in thick layers, crunching sharply under my shoes as I stepped into the morning. A steaming coffee cup warmed my hands, fog rising from its lid and from my own breath. The city had gone quiet, the kind of silence only a Japanese winter morning could manage. A car engine in the distance. My cough echoing in the cold. Nothing else. A wind slid down the back of my neck, needling through the threadbare hoodie I refused to let go of. I'd grown up in this cold, but some moments still surprised me. I trudged forward, plastic bags swinging at my side, thinking only of the warmth waiting at home. As the sun edged higher, the world slowly stirred awake. Behind frosted windows, soft yellow lights began to ignite into existence. Illuminated silhouettes moved about their kitchens, their mornings beginning in warmth and routine. I envied them. Their days started while mine had already bled into the next. Okay. My apartment wasn't far. A narrow second-story unit crammed into a residential alley. The sun, now creeping over the distant mountains, spilled even more golden streaks through the gaps between the buildings. I paused for a moment at the base of the stairwell, watching the light stretch up the walls, soaking in its warmth and beauty. Unlocking the door, however, the emptiness of the apartment hit me like a wall. Stale air, clutter, and decay. Trash littered the floor, with crumpled wrappers and empty cans scattered in every direction. Walkways carved by nothing more than habit, leading to the necessities in the apartment. Hold on, I had to cough. 1 second. Hello, sorry for that. I turned off the mic. Hopefully that didn't bother you guys too much. And hello, first time chatter. Is it what? Like a really long what? We're having story time right now. People can submit different pieces. And I read a little bit, and we all have critique time afterward where we give advice for how to make it up to the next level. But yeah, if you just want to sit back and listen, we're just gonna be reading, and I'll give some critique afterward. But welcome to the Cryptid cult. Well, I'll just put it there. Thank you. Walkways carved by nothing more than habit, leading to the necessities in the apartment. The only sanctuaries were the bathroom and my computer desk, cluttered with books, scattered supplies, and the fading optimism of someone who thought he'd be productive today. So I turned off the mic so that way you guys wouldn't hear my death cough. I feel really... Let's see. Shelves bowed under the weight of old games and paper guides. Posters plastered every inch of wall space in the living area. Outdated programming books were stacked haphazardly behind their desk, their edges softened by dust. A shrine to worlds more vibrant than the one I lived in. Shit. Today's Thursday, I muttered. Recycling day. So this is almost the end of the second page. And I think this is the first part where we actually realize that our narrator, our main character here, is a he. I think in this first page, it's all I, it's all me, it's all my. And I actually wasn't aware that it was even a male protagonist. So I tried to have kind of neutral voice here. Because I wasn't sure, like, this is from our perspective, but I honestly knew nothing about our main character. That's one of the first things I'm noticing here. Like, you kind of waited all the way until, like, we're almost done with the second page to even give me a hint that our character's a guy. Taking notes on the side. So that is one thing, maybe have those references of who he is, or just something about him, have that make a little bit clear somewhere. At least, even if you don't do it in the very beginning, at least in the first half of the first page, give us that little hint. Because sometimes when like a reader might see my or me or I, they might even think it's it could be a female, it could be non-binary, it could be a guy, it could be an older man, it could be a young college student dropout. We're actually pretty unsure of what perspective we are in. And so just giving that little hint might ground the readers a little bit earlier. Shit, today's Thursday, I muttered. Recycling day. If I didn't take it out now, I'd be stuck with this mess for another week. With a reluctant sigh, I dropped my convenience store haul on the counter and set water to boil. While the kettle rumbled, I separated the trash and recycling with almost surgical precision into 2 separate bags. By the time I finished, the floor was visible again. Mostly. I slung the recycling bag over my shoulder and hurried outside just in time to catch the truck. Thank you for your hard work, I said instinctively as they took the bag from my hand. I bowed as the truck drove off, catching a coughing fit in my sleeve. Back inside, I kicked off my shoes and rushed to my desk. My ramen had reached its perfect soggy state. I scrolled through memes and forums while eating, letting my brain dissolve into a state of static. Productivity could wait until the exhaustion faded. I took a deep, shaky breath, but it did nothing to steady the weakness creeping in. My eyes drifted across the room. Posters, consoles, stacks of games. Little reminders of everything that had shaped me. A dusty PlayStation 1 sat in the corner, yellowed with age. It had been the same apartment I lived in now, but back then it was almost empty. A small bed, an ancient TV, and nothing else. I had started living alone far earlier than most kids, without an immediate family to feel the silence. Winters were wretched. I would sit by the icy window that led to my balcony, watching the snow fall in perfect, endless quiet, the world outside moving while I stayed still. Seasons slipped by just like that. Mute, uneventful, barely lived. Then, on one birthday, something unexpected happened. A package arrived from grandparents I had never spoken to. Inside was the just-released PlayStation 1, a handful of games, and a letter congratulating me on finishing primary school. I didn't know what to make of it then, but that moment cracked open my life in a way nothing else had. It marked the start of an obsession. The first time I consciously remember feeling joy. Okay, hello. I'm going to take another moment here just for the second bit of critique. Random thing, but can we maybe revoke certain people's cooking rights? You get on that, T. I believe in you. But so here we are. This is the first moment of our uneventful life, right? And now something uneventful has happened. It's technically in a flashback. It was how many did it say? Then on one birthday, so I know it's some birthday past. I don't know if it was a previous birthday or many years' birthday, but now finally something has changed the monotony. It's in a flashback, and it's on page... What page are we on? 3. Almost over halfway through 3. Something has happened in a flashback. Hello, Noxley. It's good to see you. It's good to hear you. Like we're on a voice call. I'm still really tired. But yes, hello. It's good to see you. But yeah, so we're over halfway through chapter 3. Now something interesting has happened. And normally we kind of want some interesting hook. We want some interesting thing to happen at least. Some people say like, oh, the hook should be in the first sentence. They're like really particular about that. Technically, it has to be at least somewhere like first paragraph-ish, that you want something interesting, something new, something unique, so something different, something strange, even just an interesting line, even if you don't further explain it. This would be the area that you would have that in. I mean, we don't even have that moment until chapter 3, and it's technically a flashback. It's not even our current moment. So we'll see. We'll see if there. Right now, this is my first hint at maybe where you should have started the story. Um, but otherwise, let's keep reading a little bit more. Hello, Creative One. And also, Penitent, welcome to the chat. Maybe they're into that? Saw a person deep fry their own hand. Please, I really hope they weren't into that. That sounds crazy. Your dad's making cookies for tomorrow and you're so excited. They are bourbon chocolate. Oh my goodness, that sounds amazing. So yeah, right now, this is my best hint of what might be a better place to start the story. But let's keep going. There might be another better spot here in a second. After that, I smiled more at school. Not because anything there had changed, but because I knew what awaited me when I got home. My days formed a ritual. Rushed through the door, tossed my backpack aside, power on the console. The soft hum of the CRT screen filled the apartment with a warm glow that felt almost like companionship. Game worlds, pixelated and imperfect, wrapped around me in a way reality never had. Without realizing it, years blurred by. High school approached, then nearly ended, and my routine never shifted. Somewhere in the middle of it all, the ritual started taking its toll. I nodded off in class. My grades slipped. My teachers stopped worrying about me as a student. I drifted through adolescence like a ghost, present only in body, never in spirit. Oh, good night, Noxley. It was so good seeing you, though. Have a good night. So again, it's all really interesting character-wise, but it's still like exposition, still nothing really the hook. I think here, or maybe it was in Discord. It was in Discord. Hold on, I'm pulling up the Discord right now. You guys can't see it on the stream, but let me check story submissions. And it was, let's see, the genre is sci-fi isekai, psychological and drama. So I have, because I read that thing, I read that description for it. I know it's going to be an isekai. So I'm seeing, because I already know it, right? In my head, I know it. I'm self-aware. I'm a self-aware reader. I know, like, okay, all this, the mentions of the gaming is probably to set up for that, right? To set up for this character, for the isekai. Goes over 2 days before the chapter ends with change for the hero. Hello. Cheer. What is that? Hold on, I can't see anything. Hello. Thank you for the follow. Thank you for joining Cryptid Cult and welcome. Oh god, I'm on the wrong screen. Wait, hold on. I'm a professional, I swear. Yes, hello and welcome to Cryptid Cult. Goes over 2 days before the chapter ends with change for the hero. Yeah, and that, I think when I think of this, if it was a script for an anime, and you know, isekai in anime has really strong, I know there's also isekai online novels and real novels, and I'm familiar with the genre. But I think this type of exposition, if it was a script for an anime, or something animated, a webcomic, that would make a little bit more sense. Just because, you know, here you spend like multiple pages with all these details, right? If it was animated, you can show all that in just like a few seconds, and then they like get hit by the white truck, right? So if this was animated, this would be a very nice intro to animate for film. But for a novel, it's a little bit slow still, right? We haven't gotten that idea of what this story's about. If I hadn't seen it was an isekai, I still wouldn't have even known it was an isekai. I'd be like, is this slice of life? Is this just talking about somebody's day? Mundane setups. Does the finality also draw out in parallel? Like, is the ending also long? Is that what you're saying? You love the follow notification? The laugh is so witchy. Yeah. I'm better about it now. I have my normal laugh I show you guys, but when I really find something funny, sometimes I have this witch cackle in real life. Like Roots makes fun of me. I sound like I sound like a hag sometimes when I'm like doing a real full laugh. It's bad. Chronicles of Narnia is basically an English writing in the genre. Yeah, the ending is his escape in a way. What? Oh my goodness. Is this the... No, this is just chapter 1, right? It's going to be a multi-chapter piece. So I'm like, oh wait, is the entire piece only 10 pages? I don't think so. I think you said it's just chapter 1. Yeah, it's Void chapter 1. Okay. But yeah, I think this really slow... Yeah, it's 16 chapters. Okay. I think this really slow intro isn't helping you in the best it could be. I think maybe whenever things start picking up, because right now the biggest pickup is just this flashback that happened years ago. I'm assuming in middle school, because he said high school was approaching, but he already had this mysterious package, so he must have been in middle school. And then if he only has middle school or he's on his own, he has this game, he has a PS1 and stuff. I'm a little unaware, how is this middle schooler supporting himself and getting an apartment and living alone? Especially if there's the teachers and the school aren't even providing support for him. Which it might explain it later. So I'm saying, like, I'm not saying that as a critique. I might keep reading this and then you might explain that a bit. But it is something to be aware of, that this is a smaller, not smaller, words as we get later and later in the day and I'm feeling more and more sick, the words get harder. This is a very slow start, and I think it might be a stronger start to whenever the isekai happens. Whenever that current day, the present tense, not just this flashback, but the current shift in the ordinary happens, that would be a stronger start. Sorry, I'm just strolling the screen back and forth. That might be annoying for you guys. Narnia being dated while times and attention spans have changed, regrettably. Even the Narnia setup was characters being dramatic and the drama of cast on them by characters that remained significant and fierce. Well, so in Narnia, in Chronicles of Narnia, in the first one, oh my god, I had to think about which one's the first one. I had to reorganize my brain. It's not The Witch in the Wardrobe. There's the prequel one. In it, even though we don't get right away that technical isekai, right, that English genre isekai, never read anything on ebooks, is really that different. We're not talking about the difference. We're talking about, I think, that slow start before the isekai. In this case, Chronicles of Narnia is kind of like an isekai, right? Because they go through the wardrobe into another world. What is this? What is this? What? Damn it. There. Yeah, don't click. I was clicking on that. I was trying to get rid of it. But Roots isn't here today, so I'm my own mod today. So if there's anything I had to do in chat, just know I'm gonna be a little slower at than Roots because I had to figure it out still. What was I saying? Oh yes, but Chronicles of Narnia it's similar. It's in kind of an English version of an isekai, which is a really good comparison to make. In it, I think they're saying, like, oh, it takes a while, right? It's not in the first chapter. It's not in the beginning. That they immediately find the wardrobe and go through the wardrobe into this other world, right? So they're saying, like, oh, that might be a slow startup. It technically isn't, because we have other things that they are giving us as the smaller, out of the ordinary stuff. We have these kids fleeing the war, fleeing their home to go stay with this relative or benefactor. I don't remember which it was. I don't remember if he was actually a relative or not. But they're fleeing to go to the countryside to hopefully survive this war. You know what I mean? So we have that is the struggle in the beginning, and then the fantasy stuff happens a little bit later, but there is still something. There is still some out of the ordinary thing, some out of the norm thing happening, and that out of the norm is they have literally fled their home. They don't know if their family or friends are going to be okay. They're going to this countryside. They're going to this place they've never been in before. staying with this person they really don't know much about, and exploring this house and being these kids in the countryside during World War II? World War II? Am I being completely wrong? And that even explains why when one of the kids later really, really wants the chocolate from the witch, and it's like, oh, why'd you betray your family for the chocolate? They're on rations. They've been on rations for a while. They haven't had sugar or chocolate or a lot of the food. They're missing home. They're missing their normal routine. And he just sees this normal little chocolate thing. And he just misses that normalcy, and he therefore believes the witch is good. Hey, Cryptid, what's up? He's not a bot? And I didn't say he was a bot. I just saw that there was a link, and I don't want links in chat. That's all. He's just on timeout. I didn't even ban him. He's just on timeout. Nothing bad happened. He's not in trouble. I didn't say nothing bad about him. It was just, hey, there's a link in chat, and I don't have a mod today. It's just real quick. He's just timed out for a few minutes. That's all. Not the end of the world. All good. All about the side quest filling till the burn can do. You're having a super slow burn, yeah. But yeah, so people saying like, oh, well, no, like you can have your stuff happen later. Yeah, if the main thing happens later, that's fine. But you still need something to your character or to the readers that's that interesting, out of the ordinary. Their daily routine is disrupted. Something that's happening. People even have stuff where it's like, oh, a character's running late to work and they're worried about being fired, right? And they might be like, oh, well, that's not a great big epic fantasy thing, but no, it's still something that the character's struggling with. They're worried about being late, and they're rushing, they're getting in front of cars, they're rushing through the sidewalk, they trip up these stairs. That's technically something. That's something that the readers can focus on that's happening, an obstacle that they can follow along with the characters with. Chronicles of Narnia, it starts with the kids, at least in The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, if that's the one you're referring to, fleeing their home. Routine disruption. Thank you. And important to read. Is that the name of the book too? Yeah, but it's just that disruption, that out of the ordinary, that change in your routine, some obstacle, something that has to happen. Some people try to be really, really particular. It's like in the first line. It doesn't have to be exactly in the first line, as long as the first line's okay. But I typically say it's like the first paragraph. People even say The Hobbit is really, really slow, even though it's like a really important thing, right? Not an important thing, it's a very big thing, but technically we still have something interesting happening, right? We're hearing about these homes, these hobbit holes in the beginning of it. So the readers, even though it's an average day for the hobbits, the readers are going through something else. They've never heard of hobbits before, right? They never heard of these weird homes, or why are they in the ground, and why is it comfy and cozy? So it's a new experience for the readers, and that's why it kind of works. Hello. So, but yeah, this we have technically something happening, but it's in a flashback. So it's a flashback exposition after 2 or 3 pages of normal current day exposition. So I don't think it's the strongest start to your story yet. I know that's kind of like a typical thing in an isekai, to have them like relate to it, but again, that's normally more animated, where you could show all this stuff in like a quick few seconds to a minute. But when you're writing it physically on the page, you typically want to start it a little bit sooner. Hope you brought your popcorn for the happening. I don't know what's happening. We're just having story time, but it's really fun though. But yeah, I think so far those would be my biggest critiques. Was earlier mentioning that our character is a male, or whatever important thing you want in the character, because again, we didn't even learn our character was male until over halfway through the second page. And I think maybe rethink where you're starting it, because a lot of these details, this exposition, can be spilled in little segments throughout your story, right? So like after they're in this new world, when strange stuff happens, or they meet a character who's like an NPC, they can think back like, oh, they're like the NPC in my games. Or like when things happen and they're like, this is just like the game my grandparents got me, my mysterious grandparents, when I was in middle school. you can leave these details in throughout it after the daily disruption has happened. But typically readers don't necessarily always like multiple pages of exposition and then a flashback exposition. And now this is a back to current day exposition. And I think you mentioned in chat it's like 2 days before something happens in time, right? Unless there's something super, super important or something super changes the routine in those 2 days, we might not need those 2 days of exposition. So that's going to be my 2 pieces of critique. It's mention details about a character sooner, and look at your plot outline, look at what happens, and maybe choose the moment when something changes for your character's life, and that would be the beginning. That's going to be where you start. So you're dyslexic, but I used to DM and GM, so I'm here to learn about writing and storytelling. Oh wow, I'm dyslexic too, so hey, we're totally dyslexic friendly. Don't you worry. But yeah, game master and dungeon mastering for like D&D campaigns and stuff. That's super cool. But yeah, we all talk about storytelling and writing here. If you have any particular questions about how that could maybe convert to running a campaign, let me know, and I can always try my best to. Can I submit one of my stories? Sure. The only thing I ask is nothing spicy. No, not too smexy times or anything. Okay, my lo-fi's still going. We're good. I was like, did my lo-fi beat stop? But yeah, it's choose the correct stream for that. Oh, they chose the correct stream for that. I was like, oh wait, is it not good for them? Yeah, we're doing this fun. I try my best, though. Definitely try my best, though. But yeah, I actually am a dyslexic cryptid. When I was a young cryptid, I was very, very, very severely dyslexic. They actually, some teachers worried I wouldn't ever be able to read or spell at all, let alone my own name or anything. And now here we are, and I almost got a degree in creative writing years later before I switched to costuming. But yeah, if it's just in the Discord, if you want to submit anything, what? But I think that's where we're going to end this for now. Those are my 2 pieces of critique. I try to limit just to 2 because I never want to overwhelm people with like 1 bajillion little things. That's not fun, right? We're doing this all for fun. And for fun and to just maybe improve a little bit in our craft. And so that's my 2 little pieces to maybe get you thinking about the story again and move it up to the next level. To the same thing, and I was very discouraged, but you've been trying your best to pick it back up. Yeah, right? Depending on your age, I feel like years ago when I was a kid cryptid, it was rough for dyslexic people. It was rough. Yeah, but otherwise, thank you so much, Saya, or Davo in Discord. It was super brave. It's super amazing to everyone who submits for story time, and I'm always really grateful that you guys trust me to read stuff on stream and hear my 2 cents, right? Because it's I never promise my 2 cents are perfect. The Discord link? Does it not work on the thingamajig? Oh crap. Roots, my mod who normally gives the Discord link, is sick. Oh dear. We were commenting on someone's Steam post about a game and multiple people came at me claiming you use AI to write. Oh no. I had to add them and show them in an actual writer author so when I'm not just casual typing, tried to have professional sounding stuff, they apologized. Oh, Penitent, thank you so much for the follow and welcome to Cryptid Cult. Sorry for the link. Yeah, it's okay. You weren't in trouble at all. It's just whenever, you weren't in trouble. No one said anything bad about you. I don't want you to think that way. But yeah, I just try not to have links in the chat too much unless it's me or the mod putting it for Discord. For the Discord link when I can get that up. But no, don't feel bad at all. It's nothing bad. It was just a little time out of like, hey, wait. Just in case I don't want to link in the chat. But if you have a writing for a critique, it's in the Discord, and Watt was also asking for the Discord. So oh, you got it? Oh, thank God. Oh dear. I think on my user page on the Cryptid Roots Steam page or Twitch page, it should have a working link. It should have a working link there. I'm so sorry. I should have a little exclamation mark Discord here. Post the Discord here. I really wish I knew how. That'd be great. That'd be really great, wouldn't it? Okay. How about I'm gonna set up the next story time, which might be Author Relic for chapter 2. And yeah, it's in the Twitch bio. Yeah, that's what I thought. That's why I'm like, why is everyone asking for it? Is it not in the Twitch bio? Does it not work? I thought I fixed it. But I'm going to set up the second story, and I might ask Roots just in case to put it in the chat again if they're awake. I'll check up in chat in just a minute. I'll read up on everything that happened, but I'll be away just for a minute, and you guys are all gonna be wonderful raccoons, okay? I'm gonna trust you guys. And let me see if I can have Roots post it in the chat just in case everyone can't see it in the on the Twitch bio. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay, I'm heading back real quick. I'm almost here. I know, it's the scary stare on screen, huh? It's my spooky self. Hold on, I'm getting everything set up again. I dropped my headphones. But I swear I'm a professional. Roots will be on in just a minute. For anyone who hasn't had the link yet, they'll post it on the Discord in the chat in a second. But otherwise, I'll start reading part 2, which I think is by Author Relic. Let's see. It's dark fantasy story. Chapter 1 is safe for work. Yep, then that's fine. You guys, as long as the actual thing I'll read on screen is safe, is not spicy, then it's fine. So I don't mind that. If everyone's like, oh hey, I'm like writing a spicy romance, but the intro, I just want your critique on the intro. Can you read the intro? I'm like, yeah, that's all good. So don't ever worry about stuff like that. I just feel a little embarrassed reading spicy stuff on stream. It gets, I'm like, ee! Thank you, Roots. So yes, for everyone, Roots is Nipbone here in chat. They are the mod. That is the Discord link. So if you haven't found it yet, that is it right there. And that is an okay link to click. It's all good. Let's see. Let me just catch up in chat real quick. Make sure there's no one like asking me a question that I didn't get. Cryptid. Discord server photo selected. It's technically not my server. It's Root server. And they just let me... It's just named after me, I think. So I don't know if it still counts. I don't know if that works. But yeah, there was the link in the Twitch bio, but I know some people a while ago had issues with it. Hopefully it's fixed now, but we have a short story above the chapter 2. Okay. No, she makes it all. Crypt, are you reading the sexy Mothman cryptid short story posted, or the chapter 2 of the 10th mark? Oh my goodness. So many things submitted. Professional streamer abandons chat for self-care, tech issues, legendary doing snacker, consumer break. No, it was just to reach, Roots was just down the hall, but they were sleeping, they're feeling sick. And I was like, hey, could you wake up just for a minute to post that in chat and then go back to sleep? Ban. But yeah, thank you guys for being wonderful raccoons. You guys are always so good. Let's go ahead and I see Author Relic has a few different things here. So I might read one of the submissions from Author Relic tonight, and then I want, in case anyone else has submitted, besides Roots, because Roots is sick, so they won't be here to listen to their submission. Let me get the Discord up and see what we have. I'm putting the Discord up. I don't think you guys will be able to see it. But that was Void Chapter 1. Let's scroll down here. Okay, that's the Mothman Sexy story. We posted the 10th Mark 5 chapters. And then, Watt. Okay, Watt posted, so you found it. So let's do... How dare you be sick? Get well soon. It was Mama Cryptid who was sick, then it's Roots right now, and honestly, yeah, I'm starting to feel a little bit bad too. That's why we're going. We're gonna see how long I can read for. Chapter 1. Let's see. Was this the one that we just did 3 pages for, or did we do the whole first chapter? We just did the first 3 pages of this. Would we like to read... Would we like to read the full 4 pages? Would we like to read chapter 1? Yeah, so we'll this is 4 pages now. We'll do the full 4 pages. We'll do the full complete chapter 1. And we can do our critique on that. Does that sound good? And then I will go to... What else is here? Then Watt posted in it, in the Discord. And then I'll see how my voice is doing. You're immune by the power of cryptid kind. You would think, right? Honestly, I think just being a cryptid, we just get new and strange symptoms from everyday common stuff. It's like, oh, you have a cold, but it like... just like a little cold, and it's like, yeah, it's a human little cold, but it's like a deadly disease for a cryptid. I'm dying. You know, that's the bit. We just react strangely to all the different human symptoms. And unless you're like some of the cryptids don't get any human diseases, right? I'm trying to think of it. Fresno mostly just gets sniffles sometimes, or he feels tired. Fresno Nightcrawler, but I don't know how he reacts to other diseases or illnesses and stuff. But I do know he's had the sniffles before, which is weird that because he kind of just looks like pants, right? But he gets the sniffles. And then what else? I know Mothman has been sick. But I didn't see them when they were sick, so I don't know what kind of sickness they had. If it was like a human one or what their symptoms were. I just know Mothman's mentioned before. They've been sick. Everyone, don't forget to take a sippy. We had to, with all this reading, we had to keep drinking more, right? With all the brains going with critique and feedback. We also need to take sippies. That has research notes and all the how I do my story, so it may be more educational. We'll see. This one's short. This one's only 4 pages to get the full chapter 1. So that should be pretty okay for my voice, and then we'll see what posted. That's a really funny name to say. What? So everyone, are we all tuned in for story time part 2? Story time! Need to start writing right now, honestly. Yeah, go ahead and write while you just listen to me in the background. Lock in. Wait, what's the little emote? What's the... Hold on. I have one of my raccoon emotes. There you go. That's TUT. Those raccoons are threatening you. You have to lock in now. Okay. All ready for story time part 2? We're all comfy and cozy. The wipers on the 1965 Plymouth station wagon fought to keep pace with the downpour, smearing rain across the windshield in frantic arcs. The storm had been relentless for over an hour, and the old car groaned beneath the weight of its cargo. Boxes, bags, a backpack stuffed with notebooks, and the scattered remains of Evelyn Thorne's life. Her hands gripped the wheel, knuckles pale against cracked vinyl. She twisted her shoulder-length brown hair into a messy ponytail. A few damp strands clung stubbornly to her temples despite the cold November air seeping through the cracked window. 6 hours behind the wheel had left her shoulders aching, the tension buried deep. The rain hadn't eased, nor had her thoughts. Last chance, she told herself. Last move. No more bags by the door. No more bruises to explain. As the Plymouth drifted along the winding mountain highway, her mind replayed the night she left. Clothes shoved into garbage bags, papers were scattered across the floor, the echo of shouting through thin walls. The smell of stale beer. The apartment door had felt impossibly heavy when she closed it for the last time. Never again, she whispered, tightening her grip until the steering wheel squeaked. In the back seat, her 6-year-old son Daniel lay curled beneath a blue blanket, fogging a small circle on the window with his breath. He traced a crooked spiral into the condensation. Beside him, Milo, the family's black lab mix, dozed, his paws twitching in sleep. The road wound through dense forest, the kind that seemed older than memory. Tall hemlocks and oaks pressed close, their tops swallowed by fog. Branches sagged beneath the rain, forming a canopy that darkened the road ahead. Twice, Evelyn thought she saw something standing among the trees, a tall, pale shape between the trunks. Each time she blinked, it was gone, replaced by dripping bark and shadow. Just exhaustion, she told herself, but her chest felt tighter with every mile. Then, through the gray curtain of rain, the first glimpse of the town appeared. Evelyn slowed, her heart giving a small, uncertain flutter. A weather-beaten sign leaned against the roadside, half swallowed by pine boughs and moss. The paint had peeled away in long curls, but the faded words were still visible if you squinted. Welcome to Hemlock Falls, established 1825. The cursive lettering had almost vanished, a ghost of white beneath grime and rain. Evelyn stared for a moment, letting the words settle. A new chapter. A clean start. A place to breathe. And maybe to write again. Daniel stirred and peered out the window. Oh, sorry, I hit something. It looks kind of spooky, he said. Evelyn smiled faintly. Spooky can be good. Just wait. The rain softened to a steady drizzle as the road curved into town. Main Street gleamed wet beneath the streetlights, reflecting the dull glow of shop signs and flickering bulbs. The forest thinned, giving way to cracked Oh my god.
I know what you think of when you hear Grinch.
Ah,
Ambiance.
that scared me. It's just an ad for my lo-fi beats. Speaking of spooky, that ad jump scared me. Oh my goodness. There we go. We should be good. Did that jump scare anybody else? Main Street gleamed wet beneath the streetlights, reflecting the dull glow of shop signs and flickering bulbs. The forest thinned, giving way to cracked sidewalks, mailboxes, and a half-collapsed bench buried in weeds. Old 2-story buildings lined the street. Brick facades, faded paint, and sagging awnings heavy with water. Hand-painted signs hung above the doors. Klein's Hardware, the Pine Needle Bookshop, Town Barber. Is the music too quiet? How's that? There we go. To the right stood Hemlock Falls High School, a red brick rectangle with a rain-beaten banner clinging to its wall. Go Coyotes! Beyond it, the town library rose from the fog, a gray stone structure draped in ivy, its narrow windows glowing faintly like watchful eyes. Evelyn pulled into the gravel lot beside Maid's diner and killed the engine. The rain whispered against the hood. A flickering neon sign hung above the window, where a handwritten notice read, "Today's specials: meatloaf and cornbread, chicken fried steak with fries, Aunt May's homemade blueberry pie." As Evelyn helped Daniel from the car, she glanced across the street. The Hemlock Falls Police Department sat squat and square, a single patrol car parked crookedly beside it. The building looked less like a station and more like a relic, a brick husk clinging to routine. Further down, the spire of Grace Fall Church pierced the fog. Its Gothic frame loomed behind a black iron fence, the gate creaking in the wind. A warped wooden sign stood beneath the trees. Grace Fall Church, Sunday Mass, 9 and 11:30. All are welcome. A crow perched on the fence turned its head toward her, following her every step. It cawed once, sharp, echoing, and fell silent. The brass bell above the diner door jingled as Evelyn pushed it open. Warm air met her immediately, thick with the smell of coffee, grease, and old vinyl. Daniel followed closely, Milo's nails tapping softly on the checkered floor. 3 booths lined each wall, red vinyl patched with duct tape. A counter stretched along the back, 5 stools in a row beneath a blackboard menu. Behind it stood a woman in her late 50s with auburn hair streaked gray, tied in a loose braid. A faded blue apron hung at her waist, embroidered with maize across the chest. She looked up, smiling in the easy, practiced way of someone who'd been greeting strangers for decades. "Well now," she said, "new faces. Or 3, if we're counting the pup." Evelyn smiled politely. "Just got in. Is it all right if he stays? He's well behaved." The woman waved a hand. "Long as he doesn't steal anyone's bacon, we'll get along fine. I'm Martha. This here's May's Diner, named after my mother." Daniel darted toward the window booth. Martha grabbed 2 menus and followed. "Not many travelers this time of year," she said, placing them down. "You moving in?" Evelyn nodded. "Just needed a fresh start." Martha's smile thinned slightly. "Starts are easy," she said. "It's the staying that gets tricky." "That's a hell of a motto," Evelyn replied, slipping off her coat and hanging it beside the booth. Martha chuckled. "Mama used to say the secret to a good diner was cheap coffee, cheap food, and a smile that looked real, even when it wasn't. I'd try to hit 2 out of 3 most days." Daniel perked up. "Do you have pancakes?" Martha leaned in conspiratorially. "Kid, we have towers of pancakes, with chocolate chips and whipped cream, if Mama's okay with it." Evelyn smiled. "Sure, and I'll take a grilled cheese and coffee." "Coming right up." When Martha left, Evelyn exhaled and leaned back, the tension melting from her shoulders. The diner felt safe, lived in. The hum of fluorescent lights and the faint croon of a Patsy Cline record filled the air. The smell of butter, rain, and nostalgia hung like a comfort. Towers? Did I say it wrong? Across the street, the police station's front door opened briefly. An officer stepping out, cigarette glowing in the dark, but he didn't look their way. Beyond him, Grace Fall Church loomed, its steeple cutting through the mist like a blade. 10 minutes later, Martha returned, balancing plates. Daniel's pancakes stacked high, Evelyn's grilled cheese perfectly toasted. "Rentin' or buyin'?" she asked, setting them down. "Renting." Small duplex on Hawthorne Street. Martha raised her brows. Quiet spot. You'll like it. People here keep to themselves mostly. Just don't expect anyone to drop by with a pie your first week. Noted. And if you're the type who asks questions, Martha added, expect some folks to answer with their eyes instead of their mouths. Evelyn smiled faintly. That sounds like a warning. Just advice. When Martha turned away, her expression softened, but not entirely. Something cautious lingered behind her eyes. Evelyn sipped her coffee. It was bitter and too hot. Perfect. Outside, the rain had dwindled to mist. It clung to every surface, the power lines, the cars, the black iron fence around the church. Evelyn held the umbrella over Daniel as they crossed the lot. Oh, Milo trotting ahead, nose to the puddles. May's diner faded behind them. The town felt quiet now, as if holding its breath. They passed the police station again, empty. Grace Falls steeple loomed crooked against the sky, just enough to make her uneasy. Where's our house? Daniel asked sleepily. Not far, she said, smiling. Just a few more minutes. The streets narrowed, lined with tilting mailboxes and sagging porches. Alive, but only just. The kind of town that wasn't decaying, just settling into its years. Hawthorne Street, she murmured, spotting the sign. The station wagon bumped over a pothole as they turned onto the sloped road. Towering oaks reached across the cracked asphalt like clasped hands. Number 287 sat near the end of the block. A pale green duplex with white trim, and a rusted mailbox leaning at the curb. A weathered wind chime swayed under the awning, its notes lost in the fog. Evelyn parked, engine ticking as it cooled. For a moment, neither of them moved. This is it, she said quietly. Milo jumped down first, tail wagging. Daniel followed, taking in the house with wide, cautious eyes. Inside, the air smelled of dust and wood polish. The rooms were small but clean. Paneled walls, plastic-covered couch. Kitchen to the left, 2 bedrooms down a narrow hall. Milo sniffed every corner while Daniel explored, announcing each discovery like a tour guide. This one's mine, he said, dropping his backpack into the smaller bedroom. It's closest to the bathroom, so when I'm old and need to pee a lot, I'll be fine. Evelyn laughed softly. Her own room was plain. Faded curtains, a twin bed pressed awkwardly against the wall. But it would do. Everything here would do. That was enough. I really like the ending here. The tone, the voice that you used for it, I really like it. I think that fits Evelyn. I really do like the ending. So now that we've read the full first chapter, I really do like the ending spot here. I think that's really good. Hello. Yeah, everyone give all the hots. Thank you, Author Relic, for always giving us so many things for story time and sharing so much with us as you work on it. So I really like the ending. I think one of the things I did notice is there's a lot of descriptions of some of the different stores she passes by. The school, the way they all look, and even the hours for the Grace Falls Church. Some of those signs, that didn't seem too important. No, I think the police station was fine. I was mostly talking about the church hours sign and the mentioning of the Go Coyotes, the Klein's Hardware, the Pine Needle Bookshop, all these other structures. I got why the police station was important, because we actually notice it, right? We notice it. It's directly across the street from the diner. She's sitting in the diner. She sees a police officer leave it to smoke, and then by the time they leave, the police office is empty. I like the police Police office? Police. Oh my god, what is it? Police station. Police office. Oh, you're calling it an office. No, the police station. I like your description of the police station. No, I think for the tone, for the vibe, no, I got it. I totally get what you're going for. I think the police station was fine. I think noticing the hours and all are welcome of this church, they don't even order these particular specials. The Go Coyotes for the high school. I'm not even sure if her son is high school age. I think he's 10. These other particular stores. If it, like, just old 2-story buildings lined the street, faded paint, saggy awnings, hand-painted signs hung above their door. If it was just that, I think it would have been fine. Evelyn's a career writer, so she notices things. Yeah. And that's fine for her to notice things if we're hearing it from her perspective, but you're not saying it from Evelyn's perspective. You're saying it from you, the author, the narrator's perspective. And from that perspective, it's a little bit of a lot. This stuff could be mentioned later if they ever interact with it, right? So, like, I think the police station is fine because she's there, she's sitting in this diner, she's looking across the street at it, she's noticing stuff. That felt fine. Noticing there's a lot of old buildings and they're very painted. They're old paint. It's sagging. They look a little not brand new. They look a little their age. That's fine. I would say not to notice unless she goes to the high school to notice it's coyotes. And even then, I would then, at the point she goes to the high school, then she notices the sign like, oh, it's Go Coyotes. Here's what this looks like. Behind it's the town library. That's to notice when she goes to the high school. If she ever goes to the Pine Needle Bookshop, then you would mention the Pine Needle Bookshop, right? And how it's right in between Klein's Hardware and Town Barber. Mention those details when you're there. The police station worked because it's important here. I'm not quite sure the other ones are important here. If they are important in the story, then mention it at those times when she's now exploring this place and she's going to these stores. Then give those descriptions. You can't change that it's already published, but I'm taking notes for you. Yeah, that's totally fine. Over the cutaway, explain the world building of the town. I know, and that's for a lot of our writers, for a lot of us writers, right? When we build a new setting, when we flesh out those details of the world, right? We want to share it all. One of the things too is I'll do a lot of world building over time through all my edits. I'll do a lot of world building. And then my main problem is then I'll be overly critical that I'm adding too many details of world building. So then when I have my quote unquote final draft and people read it, they'll then ask questions about the world building. I'll be like, oh yeah, it's so and so. And they're like, oh, but you didn't say it because I got rid of it. Because I thought I was putting too much in. So I have all the world building in my head that I did in earlier drafts, but then I cut it later. Cut too much. So again, we all of us writers, we all have our quirks with how we tell stories and how we put stuff on the page. And that's why this is so helpful, you know? It's so helpful to see a fresh pair of eyes, somebody else who also writes, who's also interested in the story. And then then give that little bit of feedback. Hello, Nevermore. But yeah, I hate trying to do the opening lines for a story. I feel ya. Again, having like a plot outline sometimes really helps because then at least you know what your starting scene is roughly. Like roughly, even if it's just a really, really, really rough plot outline. But sometimes at least lets you start in the right spot. But yeah, coming up with the exact starting lines is really intimidating. Happy Turkey Day! Oh my goodness, is it past midnight for you? I still have an hour and 20-ish minutes. An hour and 20-ish minutes before Turkey Day. But yes, to everyone who celebrates Happy Turkey Day, Happy Friendsgiving Day, Happy Thanksgiving. Jeez, I almost forgot the real name of it there for a second, huh? Along with a police station, calling it police office. Why do you guys ever listen to me? I just say funny things all the time. As a DM, you feel that with having to have all this world building and then having not enough and back and forth. It's not even 10 p.m. yet here. It's almost 11. It's almost 11 Central Florida Cryptid time. Those being like Chekhov's gun, but as a location. Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. Like, it almost seems like, oh, we should be paying attention to all those scenes right now, all those stores right now, but they're not important right this second. She's still exploring this. We, as the readers, through her eyes, are exploring this. So this might have been when she does. She is our lead, does explore those places, if she ever does. Then she goes. Then we would describe it then. And again, this is already published. Yeah, Author Relic is a published author here in the chat, and they share their stuff with me here on stream, and I get they listen to my feedback and don't make fun of all the silly things I say all the time. You said Happy Black Friday Eve? Is it Black Friday? Oh, Turkey Day is Black Friday Eve. No. A lot of U.S. people, a lot of Americans are gonna try and protest Black Friday, and not buy anything as kind of like an FU to the corporate overlords. That's the thing that a lot of people in the U.S. are doing. So we've actually bought a lot of our food, a lot of the stuff we need earlier in the week. We don't have to go out shopping at all on Black Friday. You haven't heard of that? Yeah. There's a lot of movements to be like, nope, we are not giving any of these corporations our money on Black Friday, because it's such a big sale event for them too, right? So a lot of people are organizing like, nope, we're not going to give you our money on that day. Hopefully your grandma starts cooking early. You're just eager to taste test. That sounds exciting. Oh my goodness. Is it like a really big thing for you? That's so fun. Due to the holidays, your writing schedule is kind of out of whack. Yeah. Thankfully, our schedule is out of whack just because we have an event. We have a market this weekend. So our schedule, we're working really hard to get the stonks for that. But holidays just time to hang out with the nuclear family and eat some good food. Well, it's not too stressful. Well, it's probably Mama Cryptid does more of the cooking, so she... more stressful for her. I'll give props where props are due. But we don't do like the huge feast and extended family and 20 bajillion people coming over. It's just a family day. You got your check-in today? Yeah, cash money. Share a lot of stuff, mostly because I don't have anyone to read and give me feedback beyond here. So she benefits and gets all the juicy stuff. It's there we go, mutually beneficial. But yeah, and it also, I think, helps you guys too, seeing something that you now know, like this is stuff you can buy, this is an indie published book, this has sales, this is what people are reading. And even something like this, right, it's still very good, but no matter how good you get, it's always so good to hear other feedback, other critiques, not to go back and change it, right, this is published, but so you learn for your future stuff. And because I think whenever we write stuff, sometimes we focus on like little individual changing one particular line, and we don't really, that makes the piece better, but we don't learn and grow from it. Someone noticing stuff, and then you can notice it in your future writing, then you're like, oh, I have this continued problem in my storytelling. I keep doing that again and again. Okay, I need to be aware of it to get better at that. You have questions, but you don't want to bother the chat? Yeah, is it questions for me or Author Relic? If it's for Author Relic about like anything with their book or where to buy it and stuff like that, you can message them a few here, or you could also message them directly, I think. Or if it's questions for me or about what we just read or anything else, yeah, you can flood the chat with a few questions. I don't mind. Money, but if we aren't doing the Black Friday, then it gets stuck with me till after Christmas. Nice. What was the other critique I had? Wait, there was one more. Hold on. Before I get too distracted with chat, there was one more critique, and I noticed it because we've read Author Relic stuff before. I noticed the same thing, and that's what I was saying, where like, oh, as writers, we tend to repeat similar things. We have particular things we keep doing over and over again. Here it is. So this is the person who works here, Martha. When Martha turned away, her expression softened, but not entirely. Something cautious lingered behind her eyes. You did a similar thing in a different chapter, I believe somewhere else in the story, when Evelyn's going into her house and there's someone there. And then the perspective shifts for just a line or two, telling the readers about the person who was around the corner, rather than keeping us in the suspense of it. And I know it's because this is already published, but yeah, for your future work, sometimes you write in details. That would be good if this was a visual thing, if this was in a comic, if this was in a web novel, if it was in a movie, if it was an animated short. Those scene directions, or those shots that would be in something visual, would be very important. But for the novel where we're following Evelyn, where we're following her point of view and the stuff she knows, it then takes us out of it. So yeah. I've now caught you in it just two separate times. So yeah, when you're working on your new stuff with the Grimes novel, now it's something you can be aware of. You can look out for it. Even bar Cryptid with questions, I'll stream. I love hearing you guys chat. I love hearing your questions. And Lord knows I also love yapping. But yeah, those for the first chapter of the 10th mark, which is a published story. You can find this from Author Relic. Those would be the critiques. And yeah, all stages, even fully published, fully out there stories, all stages of writing, right? We can read here and we can critique and we can get that feedback. So yeah, that would be my feedback on this. I think I did too. Yeah, the housings could have been mentioned later when she arrives at those ones. They feel a little bit too early here. They feel a little bit out of place. And then keeping in perspective what Evelyn does and does not notice. But thank you so much, Author Relic, for letting us read the first full chapter of this on stream today. It's so exciting. Let's get out of this one. And this goes back to the void. Let's then go. I believe the next person is what in chat? It might not show right away. Hold on. Fantasy story by, let me just make sure again. So I have 3 screens here. I need to check it all. By what? Fantasy story. Okay. Yes. Let's take a minute for chat to catch up before we start this third story time. Like, if you first walk into a town, how do you know you are giving too many details? From smell, look, sound is too much. As a DM, I feel like I do too much or too little. Okay. So, typically, the limit. This is and again, with general writing advice, you can fix it. Anything that's a rule, quote unquote, in writing can be broken in specific cases. It's just then you purposely break it, right? But the general rule, the general limit is at any point in time, you limit it to 1 to 2 senses. So, and that's typically at like a paragraph level. So let's say you're setting the mood for like a vampire town. Like, this is the town haunted by vampires. It's at the bottom of this mountain that's all sharp and pointy. The vampire castle is looming over them. It's all spooky and stuff, and the heroes are going there for your DM campaign, right? And you're like, yeah, I know everything about this town. I know as soon as they see it, it's like covered. The towering trees are casting the whole place in shadow. It's surrounded by a foggy mist the entire all day and night. It always looks a little eerie. There's always the distant sound of the rumbles of thunder, even when it's not raining. It smells faintly of copper and fear. Whenever you talk with stuff, people say, you have all these details. At any one point when you're like setting things to your reader, you're typically going to focus on just like 2 of them, and then something else will happen. You'll introduce a character, you listen to what they say or they investigate, and then you can give 1 or 2 points more. So that as they are exploring, as they are immersed in this, as they're engaging, you keep trickle feeding those details to them, right? And that way it feels immersed rather than a lore dump. So let's say your heroes are going to this spooky vampire place, right? You're like, okay, the first thing they're going to notice, these characters, that's going to set the mood, is what it looks like. So the towering trees casting this whole place in shadow. It looks so menacing. It looks dark and spooky. And the fog, right? Those are the 2 big details. That's what they are first going to notice. And so then you might have them approach, or they might even ask you as the DM, like, oh, okay, I'm going to approach. Is there any lights on? Are there any villagers out? Are there people? And then you'll be like, yeah, you go further into the town, and now you can give one or two more details, right? And you're like, okay, they want to know the people here. So as you go through, people who notice you guys, they look more gray, they look pale. They're still going about their stuff, but they almost look a little bit sickly, like they're just all a little bit under the weather. And as soon as they notice you guys, they avert their eyes. They look scared. They look weak, even though they're continuing with their work. And if you pass by any houses where there are lights, the normal houses, they close their doors. So you described them physically, and you described what they do, that they look weak and pale, and that they avert their eyes, and stuff. So that's like kind of the two. And they're like, oh, well, okay. Is there an inn nearby? Is there somebody that I can chat to? Is there like somebody that like that? Or I'm gonna go up to the nearest person, right? Sometimes they don't even care. They're just like, I want to go up to the nearest person. And then you'll be like, okay, the nearest person at first tries to almost like hurry past you, but they almost trip. They seem staggered on their feet. You grab hold of them, and then you'd be like, oh, roll for perception check, right? And then depending on, you might even say like a detail, like, oh, like this person is like not doing good, and like they seem so pale, they seem really weak, they seem cold. And if they have like a really high perception check, you might even notice like their neck is like all bandaged up and stuff, like that the vampire's feeding on all the villagers here, right? And you normally limit it 2 or so big things at a time, and then let them engage, and then 2 more things. It doesn't matter, honestly, it's your story. You can give as much or as little as possible. And I think, or at least how I took it, sorry, Ashmar VT, if this was not the way you intended. I thought you were talking about how many details at a time. You know what I mean? And typically in story building, blah 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 blah, in physical novels and stories, or when you're describing things, you normally limit it to 2 for a DM campaign. And then they physically engage, right? They physically interact with stuff, and then you can give 1 or 2 more. You're doing the back and forth. You're doing that response and call back and forth with the players. For novels, it's normally 1 or 2 big things. And it's not necessarily 1 or 2 sentences, because sometimes you can do a sentence or 2 describing a thing. Like you could do a sentence or 2 about the fog drowning out the village and shuffling everything, and you can barely hear anything, and you can't even see the rats scurrying underneath the fog, right? You can do 1 or 2 sentences, that's fine. But 1 or 2 details. And then it's broken up by something happening. So you would do those 1 or 2 things of description, and then you could have like if it was a novel instead of a D&D campaign, then you have like, oh, somebody in the town clutching their neck, scurried from one house to another. And then you could do another 1 or 2 details, right? You could be like, oh, the houses all looked boarded up, nobody was answering when they were banging on the door asking for help. Those type of things. You do that back and forth a bit to not overwhelm people too much. Oh my goodness, I'm behind on chat a little bit. It's your story, you can do as much or as little as possible. Tolkien wrote like 40 pages explaining food during Bilbo's birthday. Yeah, but Tolkien also that's what I said. He broke that rule, right? He purposely broke that rule. And there are a lot of people who do have trouble reading Tolkien because of it. What was I saying? They have trouble following along with that, and normally it's only because they know the story from other means that then we engage with it. But again, that's somebody who purposely broke the rule, but he was also someone who was purposely breaking the rule now that they knew it. If you're asking what the general rule is that you can then purposely break if you want to, just do it for a reason. The general is 1 or 2 details you focus on, and then something happens, and then you do 1 or 2. It's the call and response. Tolkien very purposely focused on those very, very happy things, those wholesome things, the food, the lifestyle, the natural landscape, the nature, the environment, the happy clothing, the laughter, the parties, because it was purposely done to contrast, to show how great that stuff was, how wholesome, how happy, compared to the horrific stuff that happens later, right? Compared to the war, compared to the fighting, compared to the battles, compared to struggling to survive, compared to recovering as a culture, as a group from previous warfares, and that you've lost your home, you've lost your ancestral being stuff. So again, that Tolkien did know that rule. A lot of people who study writing know that generally that kind of call and response, he did purposely break it because he wanted to emphasize those two things. That is a very clear message that he wanted to have in contrast to focus on. Thank you, Cryptid and Author Relic. Yeah, you're welcome. We yap about a lot of stuff with writing and crafting and storytelling here. Audience, the gamers at the table are all engaged in the experience. If your gamers inform you this feels like a montage, this is likely for lack of immersion and their attention span lost. Info lore dump is too heavy typically. Yeah, that's why I said for that, it's normally you set the scene, you focus on one or two of the first things their characters are going to notice, because it's that immersion, right? What is the first thing their character's going to notice approaching that setting, that town, whatever it is. They'll then think stuff, they'll ask stuff, they'll want to go and explore things, because that's how we react with environments, right? Where if you're in a new place, you're like, oh, I got dropped in the middle of this place. What do I see a police station? Do I see help? Is there any strangers? Are there signs I can read? And then you give one or two things more, and it's that back and forth, them exploring a world and you describing that world, and it typically goes like that. It's a back and forth call. The advantage of your group being there is huge as a writer. Your audience can give you direct feedback. Yeah. Sometimes I wouldn't like them if they gave me direct feedback all the time, because it's like, yeah, I'm trying to do a thing. But like after a session or two, or like if they just have one thing, if something goes on too long, then yeah, you can give that feedback to your DM if they're willing. Even if it's just for next session, for the next time you guys all meet up. But I wouldn't like it if everyone at the table was interrupting me every few sentences, and I'm like, hold on, let me get there. That would be crazy. Definitely at the end you can dialogue and can even find out what they want for the sessions. Yeah. The cave open. Jesus, can you just, it was far more daunting in scale. Okay. Never feel bad about asking questions. We're all learning here. Yeah. We're all learning. We're all improving. We're all chilling out and hanging out and lurking. The main thing here is I love, the reason why I started, because I haven't even been streaming for a month yet. I started streaming, people said, oh, when you start streaming, you should be able to yap for a while. So when you start and you're learning it all out, you should find a topic that you can yap about for a while. What's something you can yap about for hours? And I figured like, oh, I really like writing. I figured nobody would actually watch me stream. I didn't know this would be as popular as it's gotten. But yeah, I'm like, oh, I love yapping about writing and storytelling, the art of telling a story in multiple different mediums and why those mediums work, whether it's movies, whether it's animation or live action, if it's a webcomic, if it's puppet shows, if it's yeah. I really like, whenever I consume new media, I love dissecting it. I love understanding why things work with the art of storytelling, why different methods of it, and how we connect to that as viewers and readers engaging in that story. Best to hydrate before I get to channel points. Okay. Hold on, everyone take a sippy. Oh, everyone take a sippy and hydrate. Okay. Yeah, normally you'll Ashmare, BT. Normally you'll actually see me writing live on stream for the past few days, and then sometimes we'll also interrupt that for like 1 or 2 story times, and then I'm yapping for hours about whatever chat talks about. Whatever we talk about, whether it's writing or not, you guys can distract me pretty easily. I do love chatting with you all. But yeah, we talk a lot. We talk even, I compare Studio Ghibli versus Western stuff. I talk about what things should be, or at least are interpreted more easily on film and visual media compared to written media. I love talking about the sentence flow, how something is technically correct, but sometimes the sentence length, it's like a lot of long sentences, And you're like, no, you need shorter sentences here to break it up. You need shorter details immersed in, like, what's the flow of how you describe things? What's the best place? Sometimes we even look at plot outlines. What's the best place to start in a plot? Starting with an idea, or starting with a character, or just starting with a general, like, nope, you're just gonna keep writing on the page until something comes out, which you guys see me do. But yeah, I never feel bad about asking this stream. I know today is kind of like I'm mostly just focusing on story time, but normally it's also writing, it's chatting, it's yapping, it's going back and forth. It's all good. So if you have any more questions or other topics you want to explore, please feel free. I'll still be doing that today, but I do it a lot on other days too. So if that's what you're interested in, don't worry, we definitely do that most days. What was I saying? Original monster. How do we even get to werewolves when we had Wolfman? Like how? I don't know the exact evolution of werewolves, but I do know there are other monsters, other beings that are very heavily associated with shape-shifting besides Wolfman. Like even earlier versions of vampires, right? Even if you look at like the original Dracula, he shape-shifted into not just bats, he also shape-shifted into wolves. So there were other stories and versions of stuff before the Wolfman that had werewolves. I think werewolves are earlier than Wolfman. I feel like Wolfman's newer. Could I be wrong about that? Yeah. I only know what I know. I don't know what I don't know. But yeah, not just werewolves that shapeshift into wolves. There were actually other beings and creatures and monsters and mythos that also shape. Skinwalkers. Sometimes they don't specifically like being associated with werewolves. I know sometimes like we come to sometimes we like conflate the two. I know there has been like murmurs of certain like native communities not liking werewolves and skinwalkers, getting confused. But do I know too much about that? No, so I won't go on a soapbox here and preach that. That'd be silly. But I just to let you know, like I have heard like rumors of like, oh yeah, we don't associate the skinwalkers. Apparently he even shifted into bugs. And he crawled up walls like a lizard. Dracula was crazy. He was extra. He was doing too much. I don't want to do any of that. But would we like to go ahead and start our third? I think this is the third, right? Third story time? I'm gonna actually take another sippy. I know I just had one, but another sippy before I read all this. And okay, this is gonna be our third story time from what? I had to pick up my mic again. Gather all, and lend a friend an ear, as I regale the tale of the famed boy that was a warden by trade, but a king by name. Welcome, listener, our story begins within the walls of the kingdom of Eldora. Okay. A baby cries out as he is fresh from his mother's womb, embracing the world for the first time. I know I joke sometimes about saying like, oh, that's a fresh, like when I talk about like a recent, like an infant, like less than a month old. I do actually in real life use the phrase like, oh, that is a fresh baby. That is a fresh, like newly baked baby. It is a little funny actually reading it like written down though. I've never actually considered what it looks like written down. Doesn't too much. I actually have Gatorade. I needed electrolytes. So today I'm sipping on a Gatorade. It's the fruit punch flavor. So a baby cries out as he is fresh from his mother's womb, embracing the world for the first time. The warm palace air caresses his cheek as the world outside is eager to meet him. The boy is the son of the second princess Ilia and the illustrious knight Kaldor. Kaldor bursts through the door, teeming with glee. My nephew has arrived. Dear heavens, brother, your boy screams a fiery cry. Does he have a name yet, Ilia? You see, Kaldor was engaged to Ilia's sister, Alora, and in a case of drunken mistaken identity, Kaldor took Ilia to his chambers, or so we think. This act in the eyes of people would have diminished the knight and princess's name, so it was easier to pass the baby off as his late brother's child who perished in battle.
as he would have been married to Ilya if he would have lived. The boy would be given the name Rendalis after his great-great-grandfather, but would be known as Ren. So right here, I think the perspective is already changing a little bit. This is like a... Well, maybe not. Maybe not. I'll keep reading. I'll keep it out. Hello, and welcome to the chat. We're having story time. We're reading some people's submissions live right here from our Discord. And when we've read over a little bit through, we give 1 or 2 critiques. Everyone cheered the boy's name throughout Eldora, except his grandfather, King Elric. Elric cursed the boy's name as he was the son of the forsaken Blight, the Blight that took his dear wife Vera. As Ilya took her first breath, Queen Vera took her last. Alora took note of her father's disdain of the child. She knew, since he was Ilya's child, that he would never be named heir or have any high-ranking position. By the age of 5, Ren would begin his training with his dear old uncle. Ren struggled with wielding a sword, but he never quit, practicing day and night, gaining the strength to hold up his sword. He even managed to learn Kaldor's special counter that he spent years working on. Their training sessions would always have a special spectator, King Elric, who would watch from a balcony. The boy has the makings of a fine warrior, Elric. He reminds me much of Alduin in his younger years. Does he have the trait for magic like his uncles? The noble asked. The noble said, No, Alistair. That might still be pronounced Alistair, but it is spelled a little funny with the... No, Alistair, he does not have the trait. The boy does show great strength. I have considered sending him to Grey to continue his training. Kaldor is a capable teacher, is he not? I don't blame you, old friend, for wanting to send him away. I see Vera's light in him as well. Their deaths still pain me as well. My sister and nephew are gone, but Ren carries their memories, like it or not, Elric. If your mind is made up about Blackrock, I'll write the letter, Alistair said. It is, Alistair. He has no future here. Kaldor will be king next, Elric said as he stood and left. Alistair's letter would reach Grey later that night. Ren was going to be sent to Blackrock, home to the Gale clan of Grim Wardens. The king knew that the Wardens enhanced strength, stamina, and unearthly abilities that Ren would grow into a fantastic warrior and forge his own path. So just from the first page here, this is a lot of time skip expositions. I think almost every paragraph is either an explanation or it's a different time skip. So this first one here is when he's born and describes this mistaken either the different fathers than what he really has. Third paragraph is 5, but then spends up to years after he's 5, and he's learned a special counter as he gets older. And then I'm guessing he's maybe a teenager at this point when Elric and Alistair are talking about this. So just in the first page, we've had like 3 or 4 different time skips. And I'm not sure if this explaining to the readers is the best way. I almost wonder if it's plot relevant, if it's important for the readers to find out about this. It seems like the baby Ren doesn't know about this, right? They're keeping it a secret. I'm wondering if it would be better to not tell the readers about this right away, and they discover it along with Ren. That his mom, if this is plot relevant, then he'll learn about it later, right? So maybe learn this along with Ren. Have the mother explain it, have the dad, who he thinks is his uncle but is really his dad, explain it, and then we, the readers, learn that alongside Ren. Because alright, this seems like an interesting setup, but it's already spoiled right here in the beginning, right? Now we already know this. And now through the whole story, we already know it, but we still have to wait for our main character to catch up and know it. And that's normally you either want your readers to learn things with your character, You had to. It's a very purposefully break that rule if you want your audience to know something that the main character doesn't, and you do purposefully break it. But this doesn't feel too purposeful. I'm wondering if yeah, maybe we don't learn all this backstory of his birth, of his training years, of all this different stuff, and we actually maybe start with Ren when he's at the... He's still 5? A 5-year-old has learned a special counter from his uncle after training years and years. Wait. By the age of 5, Ren would begin his training. He even managed to learn Caldor's special counter that he spent years working on. And their sessions would have a special spectators. Yeah, from this paragraph, it sounds like he started at 5, and now it's been years, and after years, he's learned this special counter. So even if he is still 5 when they send him away, you might want to clear up that misunderstanding here, because I think it could be a little confusing here that at 5, he begins his training. He spends years working on this counter, and then he managed to learn it. So at this point, the readers are going to assume, oh, he's 5, and now he's years after 5. So he could be anywhere from 8 to a young teen, like a 12, 13-year-old. That's kind of the age range the readers might be expecting here. Sending him to Gray. This part was a little confusing. Sending him to Gray. And then Alistair says, I'll send him to Blackrock. And I'm like, wait, I thought it was Gray, but it's also Blackrock. But it sounds like here, then I understand, oh, Gray might be a person. Yeah, Gray might be a person who maybe is running or in charge of Blackrock. So that I think there's just I think you could, for my 2 pieces of critique of this so far, just for the little intro we read here, I think maybe rethink the beginning and what you tell the readers in the beginning. I think this is such an interesting concept that they've lied about who the father is. I think that's something the readers would like to learn alongside. If that's the story, I think they would like to learn that alongside Ren and have that happen and that be a plot reveal. This almost seems too easily and early given. So what you tell in the beginning, and maybe even the exact opening scene. I think the opening scene should maybe be him going to this Black Rock. Ren was awakened before dawn and was escorted to the gates. He was met by 2 wardens, a man and a girl who was slightly older than himself. The man spoke up. You must be Ren. I'm Gray, and this is Aleste. Ren, who was barely awake, greeted them and turned towards his grandfather. Why are we meeting them at the gates this early, Grandpa? Ren questioned, rubbing his eyes. You're going to continue your training with Sir Gray. Uncle Caldor is a good fighter, but he is nothing compared to Gray. The realization woke Ren up. But Grandpa, I don't want to leave, Ren said, crying and clinging onto Elric's leg. It's what's best for you, boy. A life here will do you no good, Elric said as he removed Ren from his leg. Aleste pulled Ren aside, doing her best to calm him down while Gray and Elric talked. Alora! Have you seen Ren? It's time for his studies, Ilya belted out. With a heavy heart. Laya, my dear. Father had him sent to Blackrock before the sun rose. Okay, Alora says she comforted her sister as she bawled her eyes out. Yeah, even like little things like this, sometimes I'm confused about who's speaking right away. But overall, we can have a scene of the learning. Well, if the learning part isn't, if we're skipping here, it might be cool to have a scene like as a flashback or when he comes back and he's older, showing what he's learned, or fighting here at Grey Rock, or Black Rock with Gray. That might be really good. But yeah, in the beginning, if all this is so just getting info out of the way. You don't need it in the beginning then, right? The beginning should be really interested and put us in a moment. And I think the moment might be when he gets there. When he's at this place. And then you could even have things of him struggling and thinking back on stuff with his mother, with his uncle, quote unquote, with this grandfather, right, the king. He might be one of the highest ranking people. He's the grandson of the king, but his grandfather doesn't like him, so everyone is assuming he has higher status, but he knows, and he might be trying to hide the fact that, like, his grandfather doesn't like him, because that would look bad. Info with a reward and earning rather than free and taken for granted. Yeah, it's a weird thing how we take free for granted, but when we feel we had a balance to earn it, it feels fully earned. It's not really earned or not, it just almost feels like a really fast exposition dump. So it's not even something that we've earned. Sometimes if you put a lot of stuff in the beginning, it almost feels like a struggle. And reading, right, storytelling should be a fun thing. It should be something you're excited to hear and learn about. So if it feels like you had this homework that you have to keep track of in the beginning, that's not as fun and rewarding. But I think it would be more engaging, right, if they're following along and the readers learn alongside Ren. Well, all this different stuff. And that might be a better pace. It would be a better flow. Because right now it's a lot of really, really quick different time periods and exposition and lore that then we as the readers, before even getting attached to these characters, have to remember. And normally you want to put it in a moment that's interesting, that's that change in routine. It's an interesting, it's a novel thing, novel experience. The stakes are high even if they're low stakes. And we're going to be then interested in a character, and then we're going to then be interested enough in a character that then we will care when we learn stuff like that their father is actually their uncle. And that their grandfather blames them for stuff with his grandmother dying. It's a lot of lore before we actually know the characters. Normally you want to be invested in the characters first before you learn lore. Otherwise it just feels like it's homework. So that's normally the balance that you strike with writing. Yeah, even here it's the second page. We're actually still having time skips. Over here, midway through it, Laura says she comforted her sister as she bawled her eyes out. Once there, so we're not even getting the time of him going to this place, just once there, Ren was locked in a room and starved for 4 days. We don't even get the details of the 4 days of him starving. So it's another time skip after the 4 days. His body needs to be prepared for the trial on the 5th day. Felt his body freeze, his heart slowed to a shaky halt, and his vision slowly disappeared, only to be awakened by a splash of cold water. You've passed your first trial, and now you must be chosen by a familiar. And we're not even really getting the sense, like, what does this place look like? We know we're locked in a room, but then we have 4 doors opened in front of him. So I'm a little confused about what this place looks like. I think maybe even here would be a really interesting place, right? This kid who's never been away from home yet. He's suffering. He's starving. For all these days, he's not used to it. He's scared. He doesn't know who he can reach out to. And then he finally does meet somebody, but they just give him this cup, and he's scared. He's starving. He's really hungry and thirsty. He chugs it. And then everything feels terrible. That would be a really interesting place to start. But then yeah, the details of his life and the background should be given in segments, back and forth between stuff that's actually happening. And then I'm just taking a little peek ahead again here before we even. So there was the time skip he's already at with Gray at Blackrock. He goes through 4 days in one sentence, and then the 5th day is in the next sentence. We get a paragraph or so of this next trial with the familiar. And then by the end of that page, it's then 13 years. So it's very, very fast paced. We're having a lot of time skips rather than settling into any particular place in the story and letting readers like be immersed in that scene with your character. 13 years. The next one is the graduation ceremony. That's after another sentence. So it's 13 years, one sentence, and then it's the graduation ceremony. So we've entirely missed out on what's happened while he's at Gray at this Black Rock place. That's just been like an entire story. We've passed that all in 2 sentences. Forgotten Prince. And now he's having this back and forth with some men, and they're calling him the Forgotten Prince. But we haven't even gotten the idea that he's forgotten yet. So yeah, I think my 2 big critiques are letting the readers learn stuff alongside Ren rather than it being lore, and rethink about which spot you want to start this story in, and letting the readers stay there in that spot for at least a little while, right? At least for a bit. Stay in one time spot. Follow a story for a little bit with the readers. Let them be immersed with this character. Let them get attached to this character and what he's going through. But right now, there's it almost reads a little bit more like a plotting, like a plot outline of stuff that has happened to this character, rather than the actual first chapter where you would be following alongside the character. So those are my 2 critiques for that. But thank you so much for sharing with us. I think there's a lot of world building here. You have a lot of characters. You have a lot of relationships and how they engage with each other. We have this whole entire like ceremony and training that happens with these wardens and their familiars. They have a ceremony where they have to eat their heart. There's a lot of world building here, and it would be really, really exciting to see that world building that you have built if we could be immersed in one of those scenes for a while and follow along and get familiar with that setting. Because I think you have a lot of interesting world building here. This is a full world, but we're going through it on like high speed here. We're just getting like the cliff notes. It's really, really fast. But yeah, thank you so much for submitting it. I hope my critique helps a little bit, and maybe a direction you want to take this. And hey, if it doesn't help or you don't like it, it was free advice. You can always throw my advice in the trash. It was free. You know, no hard feelings. Nobody ever has to take what I say seriously, and it's just here to help. But thank you so much for submitting that. I really appreciate it. Get out of that. And hold on, I'm gonna put down my mic. It might make a noise. Is there... I'm gonna check the writing submissions again. What was it? And then I see the Mothman, and I see a repost of something for 10th Mark, and that's both for Author Relic. But we did get to cover a little bit of that earlier for Author Relic. Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you for everyone who submitted today. It's a real pleasure getting to read everyone's stories at all the different stages they're at, and for you guys to actually listen to my 2 thoughts on stuff, you know. But I think for now, I think you've always struggled with pacing. Yeah, and it's for writers, whenever we have so much fun with our stories, when we then recognize stuff that we struggle with, and then we work on that for a little bit more, then it's like, oh, it like clicks something in your brain eventually, like, oh, now I can tell my story, my ideas, my thoughts, this world, this environment, these characters better once you know what to address. Because sometimes you'll just keep writing new things, and they really struggle because they don't know how to get better, because they're just repeating the same mistakes. And that can be really frustrating when you don't know how to get that world, the story you've envisioned in your head, out onto paper. So having that outside voice like look at stuff and be like, oh hey, this is what's good at, but this is something that's holding it back. This is the thing you have to work on. Once you actually put forth the work and you work on that stuff and you nail down that problem area. Every single writer has stuff we struggle with. And then it really opens up. You're like, it's so rewarding when you actually fix some of those problems, right? And then you make another story, and people new to your story
telling and stuff won't even notice those mistakes anymore because you've worked on it. But yeah, it's really, really helpful for outside voices to point it out. Feels like a real solid. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, we have all the time. Sorry, not this story, but you know what I mean. We had all the time points. We had the bulletins. We had exactly what everything happened. We had how the characters around him felt when it happened. We have what's happening with Ren. Why did the king do this? We had all the character motivations. We had the plot points. We had the time periods. It felt really, really solid. And there was even like descriptions of the ceremony of what this warden place does and how they do it, and the trials they go through there. There was a lot of cool, interesting stuff happened, but I think it felt almost, since it was so fast, it felt more like the plot outline. It felt like the plot outline rather than actually being fully immersed into the story with Ren, experiencing all that. Yeah, it does take a lot to let people read your stuff, right? It's very scary. It's really scary when I show my stuff on stream too, right? When I'm writing live on stream and you guys see me just writing gibberish and keyboard smashing and leaving notes for myself like, oh, I don't know what to write for the dialogue here, but I'm just gonna keep going. It's really, really nerve-wracking. So I think all my raccoons who do submit for storytime are really, really brave. You guys are all like really awesome. But I think for now I might leave it there. Author Relic has submitted some more stuff. I think we'll do that next story time. I'm just trying to take care of my throat a little bit, also because I am starting to feel sick. Whatever Mama, Cryptid, and Roots had, I think I'm starting to come down with it. So I'm going to try and take care of me. But thank you guys all for hanging out and vibing. I want to know, I wonder if Scarecrow's on tonight. I would really like it if they were. I've been missing seeing Scarecrow streams. I don't believe so. I don't think I see them. Oh, who rated you? Well, that's a drink. That's a good point. So I was looking at different people to raid and stuff. My model's so funny when it tries to track me while I'm taking a drink. But yeah, otherwise, I think I am going to set us up for a raid. And thank you, everyone. Yeah, eat lots of food. Everyone have fun. Everyone be safe during holidays. Driving around everywhere is the most like dangerous times of the year is during holiday season. So everyone also drive safe if you are getting out. But otherwise, I'm going to start the raid. I don't have a raid call yet. I was supposed to think of one, but I forgot. I'll keep thinking of it. But thank you, everyone. And again, if any new lurkers or chatters are here, we do have a Discord. And if you want your own stuff to be shown here and you want to be a brave raccoon, you can submit your stuff. And again, we're all very nice here. We just give the 1 or 2 critiques to help bring it up to the next level if that's what you're looking for. But thank you, everyone, so much. And I think I'm going... Oh, wait, I had to wait 10 seconds. Yeah, happy Thanksgiving. And thank you, Watt, too. You submitted today, too. You were a brave raccoon. Thank you so much for submitting your stuff for oh my god, for critique, for story time. You guys all have a wonderful Thanksgiving, or if you have Friendsgiving, or just a turkey day, just a food day. But thank you guys so much and have a wonderful night. Goodbye.